Welcome back to the Off the Edge podcast. We're here with, of course, my partner in crimes. Partners in crime.
Partner in crimes.
My partner in crimes. My partners in crimes. How about we'll double plural that?
Double plural.
Matt and Quentin. And we have special guests from Alchemy Ink in Pittsburgh, Kansas. We have Kat and JP. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for making the drive.
Thank you.
We have the beer winch tonight. Colby has joined us.
He doesn't want to be on a mic.
Yeah, we don't want him on a mic either.
Agreed.
So anyway, the special occasion of having them, other than just, it'd be a good time to hang out and chat, is that Alchemy Ink was gracious enough to be a premier sponsor this year for the End of Summer Bash, which is coming up September 20th. And this is the sixth year.
Sixth
year. Wow. And we really, really hope it's not as hot as last year. But we've got a stacked lineup, and every sponsor makes a huge impact on what we do and what we're able to do. We just have a handful of sponsors that go above and beyond, and JP has stepped up for the shop and decided to be one of our premier sponsors. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, of course. It's I have to step up because I'm only 5'5". I can't reach anything on the top shelf, man.
No, but your support really does help us do this for this, the small community to have a festival like this. I think it's pretty cool. People appreciate it, and we appreciate you for making it possible. So
it really helps the logistical nightmare of putting this on with just the small group of us.
Well, it takes the
one less pressure.
It takes the biggest pressure, which is the financial pressure. It takes the biggest pressure away, and lets us focus on creating a good show, bringing in good talent, and renting porta potties.
And that's important.
That is important. That is very important.
And
you can walk to the bar to use the bathroom, but we want to keep you on the grounds as much as possible.
Porta potties, the unsung heroes
they
of
are.
the bash.
They are. Yeah.
One of the other important things too is to make investments into improvements for that show. So like we've gotten a ramp installed on the stage, different things like that. Just continuing to try and grow it at a natural, organic pace. Don't outgrow your means. Grow with it.
Don't want to outkick our coverage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing we've seen in the area a lot is people trying to go too big too fast. And I was having this.
I always have that problem.
Yeah. I was actually having this
joke,
discussion with Brooke, my wife, last night, and how there, as musicians, we tend to know a lot of bands, right? We know the ones at our level, we know the ones above us, and then, we know the ones everybody else knows. The thing is that there's this select slice of bands that are touring, that are making money, kind of living the dream, but, they're coming home and they're going to work somewhere. That, I really feel like they deserve the money that they ask for most of the time. But some I think are a little too big for their britches. But the thing is they may be big for us, but who's going to come to see them? Nobody knows them, So there's like a cutoff point, and ours incrementally gets bigger and bigger. So hopefully, maybe one of these days we can have a mid-level name. Something like that. I don't know.
We are big enough that we got our first hater last year.
Well, that was 2 years. 2 years ago.
Yeah. Was it 2 years ago?
It was 2 years ago.
I committed his name to memory. I was hoping I was hoping I'd see him there, and I'd be like, "You made it!" And I'm like, "You live at,"
Like I totally blocked that out, but I'm glad that it's just like
I
it
love
burned
it.
into your memory.
I
You're
love
like,
it.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
like,
and it
we
was-
did it. We did it. We broke through the riffraff.
All
and
the yes
somebody
men
was just
and-
like, yeah.
Well, and I think it was a pretty innocuous comment. It was just like,
It was just like, yeah, I've
I don't
never
even
heard
know
any
any of these bands.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah. I was like, come out, man.
They underestimated Quentin's ability to hold a grudge.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
No.
Next level.
Olympian level, like
Surviving on spite, man.
exactly spiteful living.
That
I
is
love it.
that is not a trait he inherited from me.
I would agree.
Yeah. But anyway, let's hop over and talk about you guys. Do you help at the shop as well?
Occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only bring it up because I haven't been in there but a handful of times.
Right.
But I haven't ever gotten to see you there. So, I didn't want to assume that you're like toiling away in the back, you sweatshop back there.
How do you think the place stays so clean?
Well, you will come to find out we are big proponents of the sweatshop. You got to learn sometime.
Yep.
For sure.
But how long how long has the shop been in Pittsburgh now?
It'll be 3 years in October.
Okay.
That's awesome.
And then I've been tattooing for 12 years and piercing for 18.
Hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
Do you
And
mind if I ask what got you into it?
I've honestly always had an affinity for the culture. Ever since I was 4 or 5, one of my best friend's dads had tattoos growing up, and I always loved it. And I never thought it would be a career path for me because I come from a very religious family, and it was no kids of mine are ever going to have any tattoos or
Oh, yeah.
piercings. And then I got to college and got a little bit of freedom and just ran, and
that seems to be the thing. It's like, oh, checklist.
yeah. Well, and a lot of it too, breaking into the industry was a lot of luck. It was, meeting the right people, being at the right place at the right time, and just being able to, be beneficial to those people in my life, so they returned the favor and brought me in.
Nice.
Oh yeah, man.
That's awesome. Yeah. When we started this podcast, the whole premise was to bring in artistic people and kind of find out how they got started, what
it
inspired
takes.
them, and all that stuff. So I would just like to begin by asking, obviously, you have to be an artist to be you're a tattoo artist, right? So where did that interest in art and stuff start?
Develop from?
Yeah.
So I can remember drawing in the first grade, trying to mimic all of the Saturday morning cartoons, and a whole lot of Batman, drawing a whole lot of Batman.
Hell yeah.
And then it just never really went away. Grew up through high school, took the few art classes my small town allowed me to take, and then went to college for computer graphics. Got my first bachelor's in it's a BFA in computer graphics, and then kept running with it. And then right after I graduated college was when the economy crashed, and it hurt all of us.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I spent a lot of years driving a truck for Schwann's.
Okay.
And then life happened again, and I found myself looking for a job, looking to start life over, and wound up just lucking up into a really amazing tattoo shop. And they took me under their wing, and we started going.
Nice.
Did I hear correctly? Your first bachelor's?
Yes, my first bachelor's.
So what about your?
It's a Bachelor of Technology and Computer Information Systems was my second.
Yeah.
And I did all of that I did 162 credit hours in 4.5 years.
Ooh.
And when I got done, I had always intended to go get my master's, and my brain was like, nah, man, this is cool right here. Just stop it.
Topped out.
That's where I landed. I remember being young and hopeful and be like PhD, and then it dropped to master's, and now it's like I'm good where I'm at. You know? I'm already in student debt. I don't need more of it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you didn't have to work and didn't have to pay everything back,
Oh yeah.
live the dream.
Well, especially at the means that I had to go to get it. you
Yeah.
know? I parents helped out where they could, but it was up to me for all the rest.
Yeah.
So you make do.
Yeah, I was in the same boat. Took out student loans for every semester the whole way through, paid off what I could, and I graduated in December of '08, and I'm still paying it off.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
It hurts, man. All right, don't get me wrong. I made a lot of poor life choices after that.
Oh,
But,
to be fair, I went to community college my first year in college,
Okay.
and I got a massive refund back from the FAFSA or whatever for being low income, etc. I went and immediately got tattoos with it. Immediately. Now, to be fair, my tattoos will be here forever. My student debt will maybe also
it might be there forever.
But I look cool.
Well, hey, I bet you helped to pay off someone else's school debt by
Yep.
doing that.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
I don't regret it at all. I love the work that I got done. So it was the Boba Fett and then my entire chest.
Yeah.
That was all FAFSA money. Don't tell the government.
No, it went to the school first. It came back. That's yours.
It's
It should come back.
It's just a
I'm
bit.
good for it. I'm
Right.
good for it. I
Yeah.
just have to look
stimulated the
cool.
economy.
Exactly.
The circle of life.
So I was checking out. Well, I guess I should ask you. Do you have a website for the shop?
It's just our Facebook and Instagram.
Okay,
And-
I just want to make sure I wasn't missing it because that's what I was checking out.
No, I had a website for a while, but it just living in smaller towns like where I was before and then here in Pittsburgh, there's just not enough engagement to bother with a full-on website. I get just as much outreach, and
Makes
if I
sense.
need to run an ad space, it's cheaper to run the ad space on Facebook or Instagram than it is to run it on a full website.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I definitely want to encourage everyone to check you out, Alchemy Ink on Facebook and Instagram.
Yep.
And
So it's,
there's tons of photographs of your work on there that people can check
it's,
out.
It's Alchemy Ink Pittsburgh, just all one word, all lowercase. And I will tell you, I'm really terrible about my social media because for me, for the longest time, it was just me doing the tattoos and piercings. And then 2 years ago, I started my other guy, Christian, and he got through his apprenticeship last September. He'll have had his license for a full year this September. So if it doesn't say who did it, or it's just hashtags, it was me. If it says it was him, he'll have a link to his art page also.
Oh, right
Nice.
on.
You have tattooed a couple of members of my family now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very interested in coming and visiting the shop. But one of my questions was, is there a particular tattooing style that you love to do, that you excel in, that you would like to do more of? Those types of questions. There's like three there.
No, you're good. You're good. I get this one pretty regularly.
Yeah.
But it's honestly anything nerdy, pop culture, and then like high vibrant color.
Okay.
That's
That's like my two favorites.
Yeah.
There.
like I don't. Have you gone through and looked at the page at all before?
I spent a little bit of time.
Did you see the Gengar, the Pokemon crossover one I did? Like,
actually, that one was sick.
so that one was a ton of fun. It was actually on a friend of ours from back home had come up and he wanted me to he was like, I want Pokemon, I want Naruto, make something happen.
Hell
I was
yeah.
like, all right, sweet, I'll run with it. And that tattoo is only 4.5 inches tall and it took me 5.5 hours. I put that much time and effort into making it
That's
just
an
as amazing as I
important
could.
part to highlight as well, because I think a lot of people get that kind of notion wrong. It's
Mhm.
like you get what you pay for. So like if you don't want them to take their time, it's one of those things where
Well, and I always try to work within everybody's budget, and sometimes that's realistic, sometimes it's not, But one of the things I learned actually from a guy I went and got tattooed by up in Colorado, a really phenomenal artist, really should be a lot higher on the totem pole than he is, but right now we're having a massive influx of just phenomenal artists industry-wide. And Christian and I went up there and got our feet tattooed from the guy.
ouch.
And when I sent him the original references and everything to get the quotes, I was thinking, okay, like I could do this own tattoo on my foot in 4.5, 5 hours.
Mhm.
I was like, this guy is a phenomenal artist. Surely he's going to knock it out in 3.5, 4. And he comes back to me. He's like, yeah, that's going to be a day session a piece. Talking about a 4.5 by 5 inch block,
Mhm.
the whole top of my foot. And yeah, mine was a 9-hour session of on skin time. It was an 11-hour day.
Wow.
The last 2 hours, I looked at the guy. I was like, Danny, we're not friends anymore, bro. Like, you can stop.
Yeah.
I'll put the white highlights in myself after it heals. We're good. And he's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I'll try.
Stick
Like,
it out.
Yeah, it was so raw. It was so bad.
That's where I felt. I did 20 hours on my chest, and it was 4 or 5 hour sessions
Yeah.
a piece. And every single time they're like, "You want to go out to dinner? You know, we'll go get Thai food and eat noodles." And I'm like, "Sure." Like, just don't hurt me anymore.
You know, like every time I get tattooed now, 'cause, like, you know, the older I get, the more it hurts a little bit every time.
Oh yeah.
And I always think of that Family Guy episode where it's the prisoner gets put in solitary and he just shanks himself. He's like, I've been doing this to people. This hurts.
But that's what, going back to the Facebook page and the samples of your work on there. That's the first thing that jumped out on me. I was like, "Oh, he's one of us." Like, look at all this nerd stuff. Like, I love it.
Let's say,
Well,
like,
you need to check out the shop. There's
yeah.
lots of
Oh, yeah.
memorabilia all over.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh yeah.
actually, I've got a video I can probably show you guys that I sent a new friend of mine I made a couple weeks ago. I was up in Indianapolis and met some really awesome guys up there. Let me see if I can drag that up. It is. There he
But I
is.
noticed, like, I'm kind of a fantasy geek.
Yeah, you
and there's
can-
a lot of fantasy stuff. Like,
Yeah, you can just pop that video up. But
right on.
If you
Yeah.
send it to us, we can include it in the podcast too.
okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I can't promise what is in the background, so you might mute it. You know, it's like we work in an industry where my mouth isn't regulated.
This podcast is not regulated.
No, and I always have like a Jekyll and Hyde situation with my own professional career and doing this. Sometimes those lines blur, and I'm just like, oh.
It's, you know, I was
My HR excuse is, oh, it's a character. It's a character for the podcast. We're gonna have to cut that, by the way.
I heard nothing.
Cut that.
Yeah, no, there's
Trade
a lot of
secrets.
times where I'm used to just letting words fly, and then I realize that there's a 5-year-old in the shop, and I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
Either that or
dial that back.
elderly couple that's walking by and doing their laps for the day. Yeah, we should bring up that this is in the mall in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
The shop is in the
Meadowbrook
mall.
Mall.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that gives you unusual hours for a tattoo shop.
It does, but honestly, I appreciate them so
I bet.
much.
I
Like-
bet.
Oh, there's a quitting time before midnight. Nice.
Well, and I spent a lot of years building the business, running those ridiculous hours, working
yeah.
till 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4 o'clock in the
Closing down
morning.
the shop. Yep.
And at the time, like I told you before, I worked for a print shop, and I was their print shop manager and lead graphic designer. And so I was going to work at the print shop from 8 to 5, and then going to work at the tattoo shop as I was building up clientele from 6 till whenever I got done, and then back to work at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, big ups to you for grinding it out like that. 'Cause,
Paid off. Paid
Yeah.
off. There you go.
I mean, it's impressive.
Then, Kat, do you mind if I ask what do you do?
I work at Walmart.
Hey.
No shame.
she's
No.
she's
I work
honestly
with Chad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I actually worked at the Walmart in Independence when it first opened up. So I was there for 9/11.
Oh my.
Yeah. I think everybody remembers where they were. You know?
Yeah.
And I worked in electronics, so I was
All the TVs.
all
the
the
TVs.
TVs, and then
Oh,
of course that's where everybody came, and
Yeah. Just
it was
stand there.
it was a heck of a day.
That's kind of trippy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just remember you working at Kmart and me getting some sick fridge magnets back in the day.
Oh no, that was at Walmart.
Was it Walmart?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I never worked at Kmart.
What was the one next door that's now the fitness center? Was it
That was Kmart. Yeah.
I could have sworn you were. Oh, shit.
Nope.
Your dad
My whole
has
childhood's a lie.
your dad has standards. Come on.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
I miss Kmart.
Wouldn't be
Yeah, I
called
like
I
Kmart.
do
Kmart.
actually.
no, it's
worked
just
there
your own
for
personal
some-
Mandela effect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Don't tell me that because now I'm just going to be like,
Conspiracies.
Yeah.
okay, cool.
How long have you been doing that?
Almost a year now.
Yeah.
At this Walmart.
Cool.
Yeah. I was waiting for too long.
Honestly, even that is too long.
So
At least you joined whenever they've. Well, I guess I don't know because I've. Do they still do any type of overnight anything Walmart now?
They don't do like cashiers or anything like that. It's just stocking
Like
overnights.
stocking,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, because the store closes at 11.
so you've only been through one Black Friday then?
I have been through three at
Three?
3 different Walmarts.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's one of those that you move to a new place and
Yeah.
when you can't find anything else, why at Walmart?
Do they still do the powwows, the cheering and the chanting and the?
As
They did
much.
one
The
at
cult shit.
Independence the other day.
Yeah, depends on if the higher ups are there. Then,
Yeah.
of course everybody does it.
Yeah.
But
I had no idea that they did that, and I went in to Walmart super early like a couple weeks ago, and I heard like, I was like, "There's a football team like getting rid of, like what's going on?"
Yeah. I'll never forget. Just freshly working there, and they do that, and I'm like,
I walked by one the other day, and I was just like, "Yep."
Yeah, I think what would be really funny nowadays is if you wait until they're done and just go, "Fuck yeah!" as loud as it can.
you know what?
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Exactly.
Let's sell some shit.
Just don't do that
Tear
on the
your
clock.
shirt
baby.
off and jump into the pit.
Bring it on, Amazon.
Rip
Kick
off
your
the
ass.
Walmart vest.
Yeah,
Hell
start swinging it over your head.
Oh yeah.
Try and start a mosh. Let's go.
I'm sure there's a couple of guys.
What the fuck is up, Walmart?
No, that'd be killer. Killer.
Oh.
Definitely make the day more interesting. That's for sure.
For sure. Retail. You have immense patience. I did it for a little bit whenever I was going to college. Never again.
The worst part about working in electronics when I did, so this would have been 2000, 2001, I think I went through
I bet moving TVs
PlayStation.
back in that day sucked.
PlayStation 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did a little bit. There was this one kid that would come in, and the thing, this kid would come in, he'd buy a game, and he'd come back a week later and try and bring it in, refund. Couldn't get a refund, then he'll exchange it for a new game. Thing is his mom was, walking him through this. This was 10-year-old probably, whatever. And he's just playing them, beating them, and then he's returning them. And she would do it all the time. And if any give her any grief, and then I want to talk to the manager, blah blah blah. And so finally, it was like, well, you can give them the same game. I was like, yes, yes,
Crush that kid's spirit, man.
good.
The lesson.
Good. Life's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, the flip side of that is he goes into Walmart. This is after I was working there, or no longer working there.
Yeah, at least a decade after.
And what game were you getting?
I was getting Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City.
Yeah, okay.
I remember it well because it's a core memory now.
So I'm with him.
I saved up my lawn mowing money. I bought this game, walked it up to the front counter, and the lady's like, "No, we can't sell it to you." There's just like,
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's rated M for mature. Yeah, I understand. This is when Dad chimed in. Yeah, I understand. I'm the parent. He can buy it. It's okay. No, it's just like buying cigarettes. And that was the wrong thing to tell my father that day. If there was any doubt about my father allowing me to have that game, it immediately went out the window because of principle.
Yeah.
I was getting that game that day.
I don't make a scene. I just took it.
Said, all right, give it to me. I'll go pay up front.
I should no, can't do that because I know you're going to give it to. It's just like selling him cigarettes. And what I did say something nasty as I walked off.
It was pleasantly nasty.
Yeah.
Respectfully nasty. In terms
Anyway,
of Give me the game. I'll go up to the front.
No, it was after that when I was walking off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just to me, and you said, you're getting this fucking game today.
Well, I sent you with your mom.
Yeah. You said, you go over here. I'm going to go buy this fucking game.
And
And the whole time I'm walking away like, yes.
and of course, you know, the guy, and it was in the photo department because, you know, we just hop over there, buy it
Back
there.
when they had a separate
So
one.
she still had the game. Fine. Walked over, got a brand new game, walked up to the front, bought him the fucking game. I was like, do not tell me how to raise my child. It is not like cigarettes. Otherwise, it would be against the law.
My kid's gonna smoke cigarettes if I want him to. Fuck you.
Smoking a Newport just right there in Walmart.
You got to give them rewards for working in the sweatshop.
Yeah. There you go.
Back to the grind.
Smoking a pancake.
Yeah, Walmart.
Okay.
And
So-
now I avoid it like the plague.
Yeah.
You had mentioned piercing for 18 years.
Mhm.
What got you? So obviously you mentioned like the tattoo, the art, drawing. What about piercings? Like drew you into that?
Again, like growing up and being like an impressionable kid, to me, I didn't differentiate those two industries
They were
because
together, right?
back then it was just all of it was taboo. Like if you were one of those people, like people didn't associate with you. We didn't talk to you. You're a troublemaker. And so it just like the whole side of everything was just like cool to me. I've just always been an underdog and kind of against the grain. And
Hate to admit it, but taboo is cool. I mean, the parental advisory stickers on albums, that completely backfired.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like, oh, I want to listen to that one.
So with the piercing, was it just a quicker apprenticeship or
yeah, significantly so.
yeah?
But I've just always had like a natural attunement for mechanics and understanding the body as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, like learning to use a piercing needle came very naturally to me. As opposed to with a tattoo machine, it's significantly more difficult because the tattoo machine has wobble. You have a lot of factors going all at once that you have to align to make it come out clean and work right and heal right. And so learning to counteract the wobble of the machine, learning to maintain my depth control versus my hand speed versus machine speed, all of that, it just takes years and time.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, there's people out there that I've met that they were tattooing for 4 years and already top of the industry, pro team sponsored guys, and they're all really cool. I just wasn't that lucky.
Yeah. It just clicked for them, you know.
It did.
It happens.
There's natural aptitude for probably every skill, and that's definitely a skill that I would say, yeah, you got to have that feel and that muscle memory for it.
That's it.
I think one of the other things too that kind of gets, I think it happens in every industry, but it's, I guess to me, I don't know if it's because I'm in the tattooing industry, so I notice it more. But a lot of people, when they walk into a tattoo shop and let's say they're bringing in references, they don't think of individual artists having an individual skill level where like I'm capable of attaining this level of art. And they'll come in, and one of my favorite things, there's an amazing tattoo artist named Phil Garcia. He's one of about 6 to 10 people in the world that can do what he does with a tattoo machine. And he got super famous for doing hyper realistic flowers. And people will come in and be like, I want this flower. And I'm like, go to San Diego, ask Phil Garcia to do it for you.
There's
like-
different niches for different artists, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good, but I am not that. Like,
Well, and I think that's one of the biggest things that I learned whenever I was looking to get my first tattoos, become more heavily tattooed, was do your research, right? Meet with artists, look through their catalog. If it meets the art style that you envision and that's what you want, then by all means. But also, like, personal connection means a lot to me, at least, in terms of like, you know, can I bullshit with you? You're going to be inflicting pain on me for several hours at a time. I want to make sure that we're cool. Like, But I also, like on my side, it's more individual, where I like to come in and let the artist have more creative freedom than maybe what other people would say. I'm not very tied to this is exactly what I want. It needs to be exactly like this.
Mhm.
It's you put your own spin on it, your own flair on it, because I want them to have fun just as much as I want myself to have fun. And then I think you almost always end up with a better tattoo at the end.
Sure.
Do you find that that's a delicate kind of balancing act with a client?
That's really just like a client to client thing. Some people come in and just know, like, okay, I saw this tattoo somewhere online and I want this exact thing. And I'm like, okay, well, it's online and there's probably 3,000 of that exact tattoo floating around in the US alone. Like, do you want me to change anything and make it better for you? And they're like, no, I want this exact thing. Yep. And it's like, okay, well,
Welcome to the club.
I'm not a fan of plagiarism. Like, you know,
Yeah.
can I please do something different? Like, you know,
Right.
but then on the flip side of that, like, another one of my favorite things is when people will come in and they'll be like, yeah, I just want a tattoo. And I'm like, okay, well, like, give me a jumping off point. Like, tell me, you know, what's something that's going to mean something to you that's going to make this last. And like, no, I just want you as an artist to just do what you want to do. And my shop is very nerdy. A lot of anime, a lot of video game themes all over the place. And I'm like, hey man, like, look around the room and tell me you're okay with some real nerdy shit. And cool, I'm down. I will give you something
Right.
amazing.
Yeah.
But like, don't give me that freedom if you don't mean it. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny, like I've got probably one tattoo that I put down the effort to, like, okay, this needs to mean something to me, you know, map it out. And I think it's actually my least favorite. All the rest have just been on a whim, like, yeah, let's do it. And you know, maybe it was the artist at the time, you know, maybe where my headspace was, I picked the wrong thing. But the ones that I've bounced around on and just kind of on a whim, like I remember I wanted probably this much of a chess piece. And then my artist came back with this much of a chess piece. And I was like, hell yeah. Like, I remember I came back home after they did all the line work on the first one. And I told my mom that I was going to go get it. And she came in that morning. She's like, all right, let me see it. Cause I got back home super late. And I stood up, you know, and she was like, oh, that's a lot bigger than what you thought. And I was like, yep. And I love it.
it's cool, Mom. Government's paying for it.
Thanks, Uncle Sam.
Yeah, no, and like that's one thing I think a lot of artists that I know, like, we all love to do is, like, somebody will come in and be like, I want this thing. And if I have time, like, I always like trying to give people like 2 or 3 renditions of what they were wanting, just to give them options, allow them to, like, choose something a little more for themselves. And so a lot of times it's the same thing, like, hey, you're telling me you want it this tiny, but I'm telling you on your body it's going to look better this much bigger. And, you know, most people go for it.
Right. Hope that's awesome.
Like, it takes getting the stencil put on them, right? Like, you can print it off on a piece of paper and you're like, all right, go look in the mirror. And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, let me run a stencil.
Yeah.
You put the stencil on there and they're like, oh, that does work. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was the stencil on my chest that it was immediately like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to look so tough. I am not tough. I am not tough.
And yeah, like I know for me, like my daughter just has a way, probably like you when you were a kid. She's not a tattoo artist, but she can
Could
just see something, and she could just very minimally draw some, and you know exactly what it is. It looks awesome. I'm just like, I would never be able to do that. And even if I did try to draw that same thing, I would never have thought to do it that way. Like, there's an artist's eye, and you have to trust that, I think.
There is. But I think one of the best things I learned when I was in college was actually from the guy I was coaching volleyball with. He was the head coach, and we were talking about walks of life and learning to do things. And I grew up being very capable of learning almost anything very quickly. There wasn't much that posed a challenge to me. And I was trying to figure out things. It's like, look, man, no matter what you want to do, it takes everybody to make this thing work, right? The world has to go around. And so, when you say like, oh, like I could never draw that, that's fine. I can never sing, and you guys don't want to hear me do it. There'll be dogs shouting next door.
Right. No, and I'm not aspiring to do that or anything, but it's just like things. I guess I would equate it because we do play music, and like I've got a pretty good ear, and I've always had a pretty good ear. I didn't really have to train it. I could just hear a pitch, and I can match the pitch. I could hear harmony and stuff. I didn't really have to like try to do that. And just like I said, my daughter's like, she could just see. She just sees that way. And it's like, I would have never, it's just foreign to me. But there's just that, I guess you call it a gift or whatever. Not that you can't learn it. I'm sure you can learn it. But just like you were saying, some people pick up the tattoo gun and they're just like,
just
really
run with
fast.
it.
Yeah. But
So
that aptitude.
Out of curiosity,
Cat did it.
mostly for the listeners, I am not well versed enough in tattoo equipment, but do you have a particular tattoo equipment brand that you really prefer, that you speak highly of over some of the others? Like, for instance, the artist that I used to go to all the time before they moved, come back, but was, I think it was Cheyenne
Hawk.
Yeah, Cheyenne Hawk. What is for you?
For me, I prefer FK irons. They're pin style machines. Their newest line that we use, the Flux Max, has almost no deviation or wobble anymore. It is just spot on. And then, but I will say, like, there are so many quality companies out there now, because in the last 10 to 15 years, the tattoo industry is kind of hitting its renaissance period for America, and a lot of the old school mentality and gatekeeping is finally subsiding, and we're getting people in that aren't just artists. They are engineers, they're hackers, they know how to break down information and rebuild it into new information. And so we're getting guys in that are changing the industry from the pigments we use to the machines to the technology for the stencils, just across the board. They actually have printers now, and we get a liquid liquid pack of ink like you would for an inkjet printer, and you fill up the tanks with that carbon, and you print it on wax paper. So you can just straight to print your stencil. You don't have to waste paper printing it out and then going and running it through the thermofax and then hoping it didn't crinkle or tear or, too much carbon's coming off on it. So, I mean, there's just a lot of awesome things that are happening. And even with like tattoo aftercare, we went from throw A&D on it to, oh, actually that's bad for it. Why don't we switch to something petrolatum based, like Aquaphor, and now it's like, oh, well, we realize that's even a little bit too heavy. Let's move back to 100% natural products that are, keeping the skin significantly better and more moisturized. And
Crisco.
Right, right.
I think that's something that's really like fun whenever I've gone to different artists, is there's always a different flavor. There's always different experience, history there. And just taking all of that, and obviously it just, the human body is different for everybody, right? And so what works for some doesn't work for all, and there's a whole bunch of different caveats.
Well, and that's one thing I have to tell a lot of my like first time tattoo clients, and they're like, okay, well, how do I do my aftercare? I'm like, okay, well, the aftercare I'm giving you is a generalized aftercare.
Right.
If this works for you, fantastic. But there's a good chance that this being your first tattoo, you're either going to forget something, it's not going to heal perfect. Like, don't panic. We'll touch it up for free. Come back in and see me, But it's one of those things where, like, I have people that are like, oh, yeah, no, I use nothing but vitamin E oil and I never do anything else to it.
Yeah.
And their tattoos heal immaculately.
And I'm like, how's it feel being God's favorite?
Right. Right. Well, see, they make healthy life choices like drinking water.
Couldn't be me.
Like it's wild. But yeah, like it's just like you said, man. Every human body is different. We all have different metabolic rates, and
Yeah.
you know, certain things will work for us. You know, the rest of us are allergic to other things, and you just got to find what works for you and dial it in.
For sure. Okay. So, what is your favorite way that a client walks into the shop and asks for your work? And what is your least favorite way?
My favorite way, like, really, I wouldn't say like I have a way that they approach me, but I like people that are willing to listen to the feedback that I have to give them, especially if it's not positive feedback. Like, they'll come in and be like, yeah, I want this very dainty, super tiny tattoo. And I have to explain to them that pigment spreads over time,
it's not gonna last.
and it's not going to last, and you really have to go bigger. And they'll be like, well, they did it on this tattoo, showing me the reference. And I'm like, and in 10 years, that, you
It's
know,
not gonna match.
quarter-inch lettering is going to be unreadable. It doesn't
Right.
work that way. You know, it's not like you're putting this on a canvas. You're putting it on an organic body that grows and shrinks and changes all the time. And so the people that are more receptive to hear that and allow me to kind of help guide them through the process, they make it a lot easier and a lot more fun. But my big thing is kind of like you. Like, I want clients that I can just sit down and BS with, somebody that I can have a good conversation with. And it doesn't even have to be about nerdy things. Like, I've worn enough hats in life that I can talk to almost anyone about something that they've done at some point in time in their life. And as long as it's good conversation and they're great people, like, it doesn't bother me at all. But the flip side of that, for like the least favorites, are the ones who aren't tattoo artists, but they
The
know
experts.
Know
yeah,
everything
but they know
about
my
it.
job better than me.
Knew exactly where that was going.
And yeah, I mean, same,
Yeah.
right? So it's just one of those things where it's like, all right, I've been doing this for 12 years.
Right.
You know, you watched 3 seasons of Ink Masters. Please stop it.
Dave Navarro said, you know,
Oh yeah.
But for the most part, like, I get along with just about everyone. So there's not a lot of people that I've ever tattooed in the 12 years. I'd say there's probably less than a dozen people I've ever been like, please don't come back.
yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, it's twofold that I don't think many people recognize that it is physically grueling work. You know, I've seen the poses that you guys hold, and it does not look comfortable. And then on top of that, like, there's a social aspect to it too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether you are particularly fond of that person or not, I mean, they're still a paying client that you've got to, and you're right there the whole time.
Yeah. Got to maintain the professionalism. And
For sure.
Well, and you know, the big part of it is just being social. I mean, I don't think I've ever gotten a tattoo from anybody that was just like
Completely
a
silent.
brick
Yeah.
wall the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, of course, I have been tattooed by people that I'm like, shut the fuck.
No, and like, I will say, like, I do know one guy that is silent when he tattoos, or at least he used to be.
Yeah.
Met him a really long time ago at the Ink Life Tour in Amarillo, Texas, and his name is Rimber. He used to work, or maybe still works, for the Dark Age Tattoo Studio out of Denton, Texas. And this kid, he was one of those guys, been tattooing 4 years, already pro team sponsored, phenomenal guy. He would just put on his headphones and go to work for 12 or 13 hours.
Whoa.
Like, he'd stop for half an hour for lunch and get back at it. Like, he just was a human printer. He was a machine, and man, was he phenomenal. But again, you know, that's a lot more of the exception than the rule.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I don't think I'd have a problem with anybody not talking because
I think it'd trip me up.
I just go sleep. Yeah.
I'm a yapper. I'm dead to rights. I'm a yapper. Mostly just because I'm like, it hurts.
Yeah.
Sometimes to
Gotta
distract
talk through
you.
Yeah. So, but now some of my best friends that I've ever made in life were the ones that have tattooed me. And I think a lot of it comes down to, you know, how you get treated through that,
Mhm.
you know? So the people that did all the major tattoos on me, still keep in touch with them, wish them well, you know? So it's maybe intimate isn't the right word for it, but it is somewhat of an
Kind of,
intimate
yeah.
experience
Well,
between individuals, you know.
It is. I mean, it's no different than getting your
I had
hair
my
cut.
I had my titties out, you know, whenever
Yeah.
I like
Well, it is. There is that like intimacy because you're in a vulnerable state. This person
Absolutely.
has a needle going into your skin for hours at a time. They're all up in your grill because they
Right.
have to be for wherever your placement is. Like there's just that level of vulnerability that
for sure.
Yeah,
creates
and I
that.
mean, the where we're at as a society, I mean, you're a lot closer than most people get anymore.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, even before social distancing, we don't get close. I mean,
Right, well, I mean-
this is about as close as it gets. You know,
Well, not only that, but even just
It
from
could
like
get
a,
closer.
yeah,
if you think about it from like a
you got a big
larger
bar.
social aspect, right? Like, you know, growing up, I'm sure the three of us and Kat, like, we knew our neighbors. You know, we were over there, we play with them, we'd take them food. You know, if they needed something, we helped them out. Nowadays,
Oh, it trips me out. Man.
Like-
I went and tried to do that with the new neighbor because I'd like just moved into a house. I said, hey, you know, my name's blah 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 blah. I live next door. You know, if there's ever anything you need, and it was like cold shoulder, and I was just like, well,
Yeah.
fuck me, I
Well,
guess. Like
now we're all scared of our neighbors, and
yeah.
you know they
I
could
was like,
be
I
the
have
next-
a gun, you know, like,
like
will you talk to me now?
I feel the same way every time I've had to move because I have a very large collection of very old guns that I inherited from my grandfather,
Mm-hmm.
and so when it comes time to move into the house, I'm walking in a dozen rifle cases. You know, and people are like, is this guy one of those gun nuts? No, I promise they don't go to the range with me. You know,
Yeah.
but
Oh, he's building the militia.
Don't mess with that guy.
Yeah.
You know, I got a little high point 9mm, so the most damage I'm doing with that thing is throwing it.
no,
Serious damage though. I mean, that thing's heavy, but
right.
You know it's bad when your mom just gives it to you.
oh, I know.
Yeah.
Free gun.
She doesn't
like
She doesn't give anything away.
nope.
Just give it to you.
Nice.
But
Generally, the rule of thumb with that gun is you got one shot.
yeah,
Then it's
the first
After
one
that, it
count.
jams.
Throw it. Throw it. the
Oh
second
man.
shot. Yeah.
So it
So
makes me wonder, like
It probably just needs a little filing down, but
maybe not even that. You might just need a higher grain bullet that you throw down it, because a lot of times if you're running lower grain bullets, the back pressure to re-rack the slide, it's not enough. It doesn't
kick it all
fully
the way
compress
back.
the spring, so you're catching on the return before you should be.
I got hollow points in it, so I think the first one might do.
yeah, but if they're cheap, it, you know.
I not from the source that I sourced the
Oh, okay.
hollow points from.
Have you shot any of them yet?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's expensive. I'm not doing that.
Those are for when I need it.
yeah, right.
Yeah, no, I
That
I
one.
Get, I get free McDonald's orders every time I show up. I don't even have to fire it. Give me the gun.
You seen Falling Down?
I don't think I have.
No.
actually. I need to add that to the list.
Yeah, definitely do.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Joker before the Joker.
Oh yeah.
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 I heard Taxi Driver.
Taxi
was,
Driver.
was the Joker before the Joker.
Yeah, that's another one.
So
The Falling Down is the real version. I mean,
Gotcha.
completely based in reality.
gotcha.
Like
I-
just
That shit could happen.
regular everyday working dude that just
Just wanted a breakfast
Just-
sandwich.
just gets fed up,
1 minute after.
goes off.
Oh shit.
And just fucking goes nuts.
Oh dear.
I think we've all had those days. Like, you know, is it worth it to lose it today? Like,
Well, I not to get super political on this podcast, but I do think there is something to be said about the story of the Killdozer guy.
Yes.
There's a certain amount there. It's just like, man, I get it. Like,
well,
I'm not justifying what you did, but man,
Like,
I get it.
but that is one of those like zero fucks given days.
Oh
Yeah.
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 You know,
Yeah.
just you know what? Today's the day. We're
Well,
running
and
it.
The craziest part was it was a zero fuck given day that was just like, how about like
It was a
6
zero.
months of
Yeah,
planning,
yeah.
zero fuck given. Like, it was kind of wild.
That was premeditated, zero fucks given.
So about that living on spite. Like,
Oh, yeah. No, that is actually a mantra of mine, is spiteful living.
It's,
you know,
it's one of my buttons.
Yep. I saw it. I was like, yeah, he gets it. He gets it. Okay. So in terms of nerddom, what all umbrellas do you fall under?
Probably like 90% of them.
Okay.
So,
What about Warhammer, perchance?
So I played Warhammer in college a little bit.
Okay.
But that was one of those like I was late to the party on and
Yeah.
just never kind of got into it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more of like D&D,
Hell yeah.
Vampire, Pathfinder,
Nice.
you know,
Yeah.
staying more on those fronts. And then, you know, I don't know, you guys ever play Settlers of Catan?
Yeah.
I
Like-
have friends that are so into that. They love it, speak so highly of it.
Well, and
I've never gotten to play it.
It's one of those games that like you can play it very fast paced or you can play it very strategically.
Mm-hmm.
And so even if you've played dozens of times before, you can still enjoy it because it's just one of those that like you know what's going to happen, you know how to try and up your friends that you're playing with, you know what they're going to do, and it's just good. It's a lot of fun. And then card wise, like I used to do Pokemon. I did a little bit of Magic the Gathering and some of the other like lesser known ones, but a lot of video games, a lot of anime, a lot of pop culture, everything.
I have always thought like a back piece of Exodia from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Mhm.
Would just be absolutely fucking sick.
Gonna be a chunk of work, man.
For
I'm
sure.
down, but
For
you know,
sure.
just
For
letting you
sure.
know, like
I've been spitballing my back for a long time, and I can't ever land on one. But I've always thought, like, for one, that concept of Yu-Gi-Oh! In that card game, you have 5 cards, Zach, for the non-Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans.
Okay.
And you have to play all 5 cards. Like, it's 2 arms, the head, and 2 legs, right?
You form Voltron.
Essentially, in
Okay.
a card game.
Yep.
And then you basically almost guaranteed win the game. Not quite. I'm not big into Yu-Gi-Oh! But I remember Exodia was the coolest shit ever growing up as a kid.
right.
Anyway, I saw somebody have it like blinged out in cases around like a gold chain necklace. And I'm like, that is the hardest shit I've ever seen. Like, so he came for business.
Right.
So
He knows where he stands.
exactly. Did you bring protection? Yeah, I've got the Exodia. You know, like just absolutely absurd.
Did you ever watch Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z?
I watched
Okay.
a bit. I feel like I was so late to it because like all the episodes had already been out for so
Mhm.
long. Like, and I think it was one of the other versions
Mm-hmm.
that was playing, and I just missed it.
Yeah. So on YouTube, have you ever watched Dragon Ball Z abridged?
Should.
You should.
Okay.
Imagine 4 guys like me that are just wild and a little bit unhinged, and then they just
Yeah.
redubbed the series.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Nice.
There's a lot of abridged series, especially like. Do you like anime at all?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Sword Art Online abridged,
Really?
phenomenal.
Chef's kiss.
One of my favorite lines, hands down, is you don't need to worry about where your god is because he's right here and he's fresh out of mercy.
The first anime that I ever got into, I would say deeper than like Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Mhm.
stuff like that, was One Punch Man, and it was
Mhm.
110% every fucking thing I wanted it to be. Just over the top, ridiculous, with like a melodramatic protagonist. It was awesome.
Right. And
Did you
and
see
the
we're getting season 3 this year?
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, in October.
Hell yeah.
And like just Saitama's hard switch between just this dude is blank faced, like 1,000-yard stare, just like, okay. And then it's like, oh, you're dying today.
So
Like,
let's
and it's
pause.
just
Are either of you guys familiar with One Punch Man at all?
I know what it is, but
Okay.
I haven't ever
So-
watched it.
1,000 yards away, just brief elevator pitch. It's a guy that has the power to defeat any single one of his enemies that he faces with one punch. However, the entire anime is based with him wrestling with those emotions and trying to find somebody that can beat him, right?
They can beat him. And then also it's not about him being able to defeat an enemy. It's about him being able to win the hearts of the people because he's so good. Everybody believes he's cheating or setting these fights up, and he's not doing them for real.
It's wild.
Huh.
And then you dub like, you know, like Japanese metal over the top of the fights. It's just like, oh,
Yeah.
this is what I wanted.
Season 1 intro, man. Like,
So good.
It's so good.
It was everything I wanted that anime to be.
Yeah.
So, but Tokyo Ghoul was another one I really wanted to get into. So, but
Have you watched Full Metal Alchemist?
I have started it.
That's good. That's a
ended
good
up-
one.
I think it was like in the middle of college, in between like a bad breakup and a move, and then I think I just shelved it during
Yeah.
that time.
That's one of my
I've
favorites.
heard nothing but great things.
And there is 2 Full Metal Alchemists. So there was one that was released in 2004,
There's one that I was always recommended to like
Brotherhood.
avoid.
Yeah, I guess
and
Brotherhood
one to
is the one
watch.
that I watched.
I'll tell you, like, both of them are good.
Yeah.
But the difference there is the original 2004 release, they only had the manga produced out to about episode 11.
Oh, okay.
And then they were kind of told, like, hey, like, write your own storyline going this way, and we'll tell you yes or no. And they kind of just took off with it. And then, what year was it? 2010, 2012, somewhere in there. It was finished, and they remade it, and that's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And that one follows the whole manga.
Okay. I also see the Berserk patch.
Mm-hmm.
I have gotten the first volume, and I plan to read through it, but I have not yet.
I will tell you, I don't know if anyone has told you, it is not for the faint of heart.
That's what I've been told.
It is like the story of Guts is just heartbreaking,
Yeah.
but you're still rooting for the guy. You
Oh,
know,
really?
like yeah,
Okay.
like,
I'll keep that in mind.
there's some pretty messed up stuff, man.
Oh, for sure. Well, I think you deduce
Like-
that pretty quick from the first like 2 pages.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, that's mild.
Yeah.
like
For
like
sure.
that's one of those where like, you know, when I was raising my boys, trying to get them into anime and stuff, like.
Yeah.
My little kid was like, "Yeah, I've heard good things about Berserk. I want to watch it." And I was like, "No, no, not till you're 20,
Yeah.
like not even 18. Like this is not
kid of mine.
yeah,
Not until your brain's fully developed.
Yeah.
Got to get that frontal lobe.
like it.
Well, that's better than what I got. You know, I remember my dad firing up, and I would have been grade school, maybe 3rd, 4th grade at the most, booting up Silent Hill 4 on the PlayStation 2, and the opening intro
Mhm.
where it's all like, you know, just a horror movie, really.
Yeah.
Immediately
Montage.
put me in a tailspin. Bawled my eyes out. Had nightmares for months.
Traumatized for life.
But here I am. I'm like, oh, this game is so fucking good. Like,
You got to plant the seed.
Yeah.
right.
break him early. I must break you. Well, yeah, because nowadays, you know, completely desensitized. Like, if something really gets me out of my skin, I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing.
That's a lot of what we do in between playing music is like who can just say the most outrageous stuff to, especially like if you get, well, all right, Daryl, who's not here, he has the greatest belly laugh ever. So if
Yeah.
you get him going, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then also if you shock Quentin, that's like, yeah, it's good.
So you need to come hang out in the shop for a day and just talk to Christian.
Yeah.
Like that, I love him, man. Like I'm gonna marry that man, but that he is always on one.
Oh, yeah.
And he loves to mess with me because he knows like when I move into work mind, right? Like I'm being creative and I am focusing on like the things I need to do, but what
You're
I
in a
have to do is
flow
also
state.
very technical.
Right.
So it's kind of like floating both halves of the brain simultaneously. Like I got to make sure I'm paying attention to the logistics of tattooing while also remembering to apply how I'm supposed to.
Right.
And so when I get into that mode, my brain will stutter if like non-logical information enters it. And he loves to just hit me.
That's awesome.
It's
No, I need to come visit the shop, get a piece. I mean, I've been itching for a new one forever, so I just got to do it.
Yeah, I
You
still need to
saying
send
that
her-
reminds me when my wife is having a conversation in her head, and then she just starts speaking out loud like I was privy to everything. And I'm just like, what are we talking about? I don't know what's going on anymore.
I feel like you had a conversation without me, and I was not included.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel a little left out.
Did
You
I
can't
not
talk-
say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the brain fatigue at the end of the day gets real because I'm
Yeah.
there 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, and
Yeah.
by Saturday when I get home, poor cat, I'm usually in like a vegetable state, and I'm like, I just want to sit down. Like, don't make me think. I don't want choices.
Right.
What do you want for dinner? Don't make me choose.
No.
Don't make me choose. I'm like, but I'm tired. I don't want to choose.
DoorDash something. I don't.
There
care.
you go.
Yeah.
I'm a big advocate of like coin flip.
Mhm.
I can't choose. Here's your options, and then I can typically pick between two.
Right.
In terms of like it's this or this, but I can't be bothered to decide which.
So, like I've always approached it two different ways. Like, and it's like with my ex-wife, I'd look at her and be like, all right, do you want Mexican American or Chinese? And if you will tell me which one of those you want, I will pick where we're going.
Right.
Right, I have no issue. But I think my favorite thing we ever did was we took every restaurant in town and wrote them out and cut them out and threw them in a Ziploc baggie.
Ooh, and
And then we just shake it up and drew, and that's where we were going. And
That's
then we
not a
would
bad
put it
idea.
into a new Ziploc baggie, and we would go through the first one until we had gone to every restaurant in town, and then we just start over.
That's not
Right
a bad
on.
idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that note.
I saw a clip. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this guy's like styles of tattooing are. But is there? Do you have kind of like, I don't want to say a specialty, but do you have a certain style or styles that you kind of not focus on, but are maybe like your
Comes
forte?
more naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that really, it's a lot more to do with like the bright, bold color. And that's why I love doing anime pieces. And it's mostly good.
Does that follow in the same vein as like neo traditional?
It can. Like, I love doing neo-traditional, and it's just because it's like the similarities between neo-traditional and like anime. When you break it down verbally,
Or the
there's
really
a
bright
lot in common. You
colors,
have multiple line weights. You're using the big bold lines for the heavy contrast. You're using the thin lines for the accents. You have a very large color palette. Depending on which time frame from anime anyway you're pulling from, things like that. But they are two very unique and independent styles. But I don't get to specialize. I always think of it kind of like we live in an area where we don't have enough population that's also
Right.
going to have the right budget for me to specialize in something I would want to specialize in. And so, like, if I wanted to do exclusively anime tattoos, I would do 12 a year.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's an
Um,
important distinction is
Mhm.
just the demographic,
Yeah.
because I'm sure it's a bit of a catch-all.
it is. And that's why I just learned to do my best to get as good as I can at every style. And just kind of have always pushed myself up that hill and always relied on the people around me to nitpick me for me. And just be like, hey, how can I do better? How can I be better? Because, and I'm sure you guys probably know, but like personal growth is really slow if you're the only one making changes,
For sure.
you know, because we can't
Yeah.
recognize our own flaws. And so I've always made sure to surround myself with people that weren't just yes men. And I wanted people who were going to be like, hey, man, get it together. Like, you're sucking it up right now.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
for sure.
And I like the growth that I've made over the years. You know, I still go back about once a year and look at my entire like Google Photos album, you know, for tattooing and see what I was doing when I first started and then where I was in all of the different years in between. And, you know, when I hit year 5, I was like, who was letting me tattoo them in year 1? You know, and now that I'm in year 12, I'm like, who was letting me tattoo them in year 5? Like,
Right.
you know, but
Right.
it's just growth. And, like I said, like I love bright, vibrant color. You know, I see the chroma scale much easier in color, and I can differentiate the minute details better than I can in black and gray.
Okay.
And so that's just always where I've kind of like leaned to. But I do a lot of black and gray work, and I feel like I'm very good at the layering and adding what it needs to be to make it, you know, pop and still have the correct amount of contrast to be interesting and
Yeah.
things like that.
There's one, and it probably jumped out because it's a meaningful to me. But you did one like of a rosary,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just super detailed.
Yep. The Saint Benedict's cross.
Yeah. And I was just like, that's freaking rad.
Yeah, and I'll tell you. So that the young gentleman I put that on, he was a very skinny kid. Like his upper arm was probably as big around as my forearm. Like
Yeah.
the thickest part of his forearm was probably my wrist. And that piece was still 12 and a half hours
Yeah, I
because of
believe
all
it.
of the tiny details.
Intricate.
And and there's only so much trauma the human body can take. And it doesn't matter how light-handed I'm being. Once you reach that threshold for that individual skin, you have to kind of say, all right, we got to go somewhere else,
Right.
or we're just going to chew you up, you know? And so,
Yeah, no, those moments where you hit where your body is just rejecting it outright and it's all raw and irritated. Like, I've never been so grateful for a little spray bottle of water and soap just to wet it. And I'm like, oh, thank God. And, you know, they're initially wiping with just like the dry paper towel. I'm like, I'm going to die. Like,
well, actually, I have great news for you if I tattoo you. We don't do that at my shop. I actually have a very long, in-depth stenciling process I go through that allows me to wet wipe the entire tattoo, and I never have to worry about my stencils wiping away.
call this man today.
Yeah, because
I cannot speak more highly than how important that is. It
like I'll say,
sucks.
like one of my favorite stories, like, because you're talking about that, right? And like, I would say for the first 5 to 6 years of my career, like that's what we did, right?
Right.
When you didn't want to wipe the stencil away, so you had to pat it or dry wipe it as you did the line work. And once you had all your line work set, then you switched to wet wiping. I was tattooing a good buddy of mine named Brandon that I grew up with, and he was one of my good friends that allowed me to put things on him that he probably shouldn't have. And it's just, you know, I was new, I was learning, and you know, we all think we're 10 foot tall and bulletproof till somebody's like, hey man, quit fucking around, you know? And but I remember the first time I was tattooing him, it was probably my 10th tattoo I'd ever done. And I got done with the line work, and I started in on the color packing, and I dry wiped him. And he stopped me. And this is my buddy Brandon was a Marine. Great guy, but he knew how to turn that switch on.
Oh, yeah.
And he stops me and goes, did you just dry wipe me, bro? Dude, I thought we were friends, man. And ever since then, I've always remembered, like, nope, wet it down, man. This person is my friend.
That shit is miserable.
You know, and especially if you're doing a very detailed piece that's, you know, if you're on line work for more than a couple of hours, like, it's almost worth it just to call it there and go home and then let it heal up and start the shading just to get the...
Yeah, that's where we landed, was just like, man, your body's rejecting it too bad. We got to stop. I was like,
Yeah.
it's okay.
And sometimes we can just read it on the face, right? Like that's one of the biggest things I think that is underrated for a skill that we have to utilize is reading the customer
For sure.
and how they're reacting, right? Because especially as men, like out here in the Southwest, Midwest, we're all taught
We got to be tough.
suck it up and
Show no emotion.
take a salt tablet, walk it off, you know? And so, but somebody can be stone-faced, but their body will still tell you, like, I'm not okay with this.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's like, hey, man, like, what do I need to do different for you? Do we need to call it today? No, keep going. Listen, man, you don't have to be that way with me. Like, I'm telling you, like, if you're in that much pain, we can call it. Like,
You have no more color in your face.
This might be too much, but my greatest kink is my tattoo artist telling me, "Man, you sat like a rock." I'm like, "Yes,
It really is, though, honestly.
oh yeah,
One of the most invalidating
it
moments
is.
of your life.
It is. I'm so good. I'm so good."
Yeah.
Tell me, can you tell me again?
Yeah.
Say it into the mic. You know, just one more time. I need it. And go to bed.
Yep.
Sat like
So,
sat like a rock.
The best one I got was after my stomach, and that was
Dude, I hyped myself up so bad after my stomach,
Yeah.
like because you had spoken about
Yeah.
how miserable that was.
yeah.
My chest, 100 times over. That was miserable. compared to
I
my stomach.
bet.
I was like,
I bet.
I'd get my stomach again.
Yeah.
was the guy in your chest just heavy-handed, or was it just maybe age and not knowing what pain was back then?
Well, it was the first one that I gotten on any of my torso area.
Hmm.
And so, like, I'll show you it after the podcast ends. Not for the cameras, you know.
Q's just a sensitive man.
but I, there was a period on my chest where my breathing got off, and I started like breathing really heavy into the needle, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna die!" Like, and so I had that fear and I had that worry whenever I got my stomach, and I was just like, "Oh, this is a breeze. This is nothing." The sternum, I was light. I wasn't nearly as fat as I am now, and like, the sternum was by far the breastplate was horrible.
Yeah.
And then as they got closer to my nipple, I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god!"
It's funny how in those certain sensitive areas that pain is not a 45-degree incline on the pay scale. It's a real sharp bell curve.
Yeah, it is a very big bell curve.
I'm
it's
fine.
a
I'm fine. I
logarithmic
am
scale.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember telling them, I was just like, "It feels like you were tattooing on it," and they're like, "Nope, we're still a good like
3
inch
inches
away." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "What the?"
Yep. It's my favorite when I'm doing guys' inner biceps.
Oh yeah.
And you start down by the elbow, and it's about like any other tattoo, and you hit the mid bicep, and they're like, "Oh, okay, well, this kind of sucks," but like I'm hanging in there, and then you get 2 inches away from the armpit, and they're like, "We're done, dude.
Yeah, I'm
Leave it
gonna
alone."
I'm gonna swing at you. Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely just, and you learn this as a teenager if you run into bad acne, but you find out real quick what parts of the body are really sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So you got your mom or your older sister, "Hey, let me pop that." Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I think the one that impressed me the most in terms of pain scale was I had my inner lip tattooed. Did I ever tell you guys that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you told me.
Oh, okay. But that was like the easiest.
Zero
one I've
pain.
had. It's zero.
Yeah. It's
Absolutely zero.
It's such like malleable and jelly flesh, and there's nothing hard in there for that needle to cause reverberation through.
Yep.
So that what's where I'm looking here? It's the physics of it, the energy dispersion over surface area.
Right.
Okay.
Right? Because it's more fluid, it can disperse that around your entire jaw, even from just that small area. Whereas when you're talking about like, "Oh, I'm going to do this on the back of my hand," you run into all the hard surfaces, you run into all your carpals, and it's like, no, this is just shitty.
Yep. This just sucks.
Yeah. Well, and like, I also think there's something to be said about like personal trauma for people's pain tolerances for tattoos. Because you can tell a big difference between when somebody's seen some shit and when they haven't. 'Cause if they haven't seen something, they're coming there like, "God, this is just like, why do people do this? Like, I don't know that I want to get another one." And I'm like, "Don't worry, man. You'll be back. You'll forget that this hurt. It's
Yep.
fine." I remember I have this one person that I met here, really amazing young girl, been through a lot, was tattooing on her kneecap,
Ooh.
on the kneecap. And Sarah walked over and was like, "Hey girl, like, doesn't that hurt?" And she's like, "Doesn't feel like kittens licking me, but it's fine." And I'm like, "Girl, who hurt you? Do you need
Yeah.
a hug?"
Yeah.
Like,
You good, dog? Like,
like, for real,
Like not near as bad as when Dad used to beat me.
Oh man, he's like, talk about like saying unhinged things. So when I'm prepping for my stencil, we do the green soap, we shave you, and then we spray it down with either a skin prep or an isopropyl alcohol to finish cleaning out the pores and everything. And so like we have about a dozen different sayings that we'll throw out there. But I remember I was spraying this young girl down, and I was like, hey, don't breathe this in too hard. It smells like my dad used to hit me. And she stopped, like, man, I haven't used that line since, because she stopped. She goes, yeah, that's about right, man. And I was like, it was supposed to be funny. It wasn't supposed to be traumatic. I am so sorry.
We weren't supposed to have a moment.
Like, I get it. I'm not disagreeing, but like,
fuck. Oh shit.
Yeah. Christian loves to tell people when he's lowering the client chair at the end of it, he's like, all right, I'm going to let you down like I did my father. You know, like.
Yeah. I was actually planning for some of those one-liners, you know, like, unfortunately the podcast wasn't rolling, but whenever you asked what I did for a living, I said chemist. I was like, don't worry, still disappointed my parents too, you know, like. So.
Oh.
They're a hoot when they get going. I was getting this bat done, and him and Christian and one of their buddies, Alan, were just going, and I was laughing so hard. Christian had to stop tattooing me, and one of the lines is crooked, and he was like, do you want a straight tattoo or what? You got to stop laughing. I was like, I can't with the three of you guys going off. Like,
for sure.
you're giggling and shaking, and he just would just sigh heavily. Can you stop laughing now? Stop talking, jerk. Shut the fuck up. Let me.
This isn't a me problem.
This is your fault.
I mean, think about it this way. At least you didn't have to put up with the three of us plus Dylan plus Matt when we all went to Ireland.
Oh, fair.
I feel like you wanted to go on that trip, but I feel like you would have regretted it. like I have to deal with these 5 idiots. Great.
Yeah.
I think Matt feels that way with the band at times. I have to deal with these 3.
Yeah.
And the worst part is just like one of them is his own, you know. So. And that's the biggest idiot of the bunch.
Quentin, I kind of wish that you would like get into tattooing, because I just think that your whole vibe would be like awesome. Like you would probably like somewhat enjoy giving people pain.
Oh, I would absolutely love it.
And but then you
Are you crying? You crying?
but when you're done, you would kiss them on the forehead and you're okay.
It's true.
It's okay, sweetie. You did amazing.
Yep.
Go get them.
That is true.
Take on the world.
I kiss our drummer Zach and our guitar player Daryl on the forehead before every single practice. I did it as a bit on a podcast one time, and I have not let it go.
It just became the.
It became me. It started ironic, but now it's a part of me.
Yeah.
And it's become bad enough that if it doesn't happen, either one of them will be like,
what
Did
the
we
fuck?
make you angry? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it started off, we're like,
Did
what
I
are
hurt
you
you?
doing?
Yeah. Well, and if you go back and you listen to the episode where I talk about it, it fell in line into a T. There is psychological, like, it's like Pavlov's dog, you know?
Yeah.
You kiss them on the forehead enough times, they're like, the fuck's going on? Like,
you have conditioned them.
I have conditioned them. So
That's fair.
So I highly recommend, kissing the homies on the forehead, before you see them. So
Before you see them?
when you see them.
Yeah.
Yep. Before you tuck them in at night. That's
Right? Like, it's only like one of Christian's favorite things to do is like, we'll be sitting there and we're both in the middle of working and he'll stop me like, JP, do you know you're looking real fucking pretty today? Oh, thanks, buddy. I love you too.
yeah.
Yeah, I get it. There was one day where he was like, hey man, you're a fat piece of shit. I'd be like, do you mean that hurtfully? Like,
Say psych.
like yeah.
Please say psych.
Well, like like I said, we went to Ireland this last year. There were 5 of us that went. Between 5 of us, we were 1,700 pounds of fat American. All right, a literal 3/4 ton of fun. All right, we're aware of who we are. We took a carriage ride on a 1-horse carriage. A 4-horse, man. I gave that cabbie a €20 tip when we got done. I was like, please give him a break. I know what we did, man. I was raised with horses.
Give him an apple.
Like, hearing him stop was a little painful.
Aw.
Hear it just weigh a little.
yeah.
Oh shit, that's funny.
It's done. It's just, why?
What all did you do in Ireland? That's
Man,
for one, that sounds super cool.
It was.
You drank, right?
Yeah, we definitely drank.
Okay.
We drank so much.
Amen.
And I will tell you, like, if you guys ever decide to go, the best time of the year to travel outside of the U.S. is between October and late February, early March.
Okay.
And you just kind of hope and pray for the weather, right? We booked 6 months in advance before we went. It was $1,000 a person for 8 days, 6 nights, and that was flight and hotel.
Wow.
Wow.
So
yeah.
really not bad
Yeah.
at all, right?
At all.
While we were there, we really just did as much as we could. We spent 3 days in Dublin, which we all wish we had kind of condensed to like a day and a half or 2 days.
Okay.
But we went and toured Jameson's. We went and toured the Guinness facility, and like, I'm assuming you guys are whiskey drinkers,
Yes.
Oh yeah.
right?
So.
Jameson's my jam, actually.
Okay,
Are you a
so-
whiskey guy?
Yes.
Oh, have I got a whiskey for you?
Sweet. So this is one also, but unfortunately, you have to go to Ireland to get it. Jameson's makes a whiskey that cannot be sold anywhere else in the world other than the south of Ireland.
Whoa.
Wow.
It's called Jameson's Crested.
My sister-in-law brought it back. We have a bottle at home.
Oh, nice. Yes.
So
good. We brought home 6 bottles.
Hell yeah.
And, and so we were at the Jameson's
Nice.
factory, and we were like, can we pack this in our bags and send it home? And the guy was like, if you have a nonstop flight, yes. If you have a layover, TSA is going to confiscate it and you'll never see it again.
No.
And then we're walking through the airport and there's a Jameson's duty-free store. We're like, fuck this, we're carrying it on the plane. And it turns out they're cool with it.
Nice.
So we brought home 6 bottles, and I gave Kat's dad one, and he was like, it was for Christmas, you know, and he was like, this had better not taste good. I was like, I don't want to have to go to Ireland to get more.
Yep, makes sense.
But yeah, so what whiskey do you love?
PBR whiskey,
Oh.
aged 5
Minute.
seconds. It is a clear whiskey. It's that clear Stormtrooper
Trooper.
decanter on the top shelf.
I have one of those too that I use for my infinity bottle. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a go.
All right.
Brave man.
But oh man, like I do still have the folly of like, oh, you think I can't do it? I'll
yeah.
run, it's fine.
Don't tell me that.
Right.
Don't tell me that.
But also like we toured the Guinness facility, obviously, like, and that was also phenomenal. I will say the Jameson's tour is very short. It was only about 45 minutes.
Okay.
The Guinness facility is kind of a walk through at your own pace tour, and it took us about 2.5, 3 hours. And then there's 8 floors to the Guinness facility.
Whoa.
But floor 7 is restaurants, and floor 8 is a sky bar. Where so like we went up and we drank about a 6-pack apiece, and then went back down and ate, and then we went to leave, and that's when we did the carriage ride. Because none of us wanted to walk 2 miles back to Temple Bar. Like, it was like, no thanks. You know? We went and saw the Cliffs of Hout and the Cliffs of Moher. Were beautiful. We went down to Cork and Blarney Castle. We did a 12-hour bus ride tour for that. We went to... do you guys like Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah.
I've never
I
watched
do.
it. I am very interested in it.
Okay.
But I have like
I'm very impressed that you're the hand of the king.
Yep. That's
Two.
actually what this whole half sleeve is as well.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So over a third of Game of Thrones was filmed in Northern Ireland.
really.
And they turned Linder Studios into a walkthrough at your own pace tour. So we went and spent about 4.5, 5 hours in there walking through that and doing stuff. And Matt and Colby have seen it. Christian and I took a picture on the Iron Throne together.
Oh sweet.
It was great. And then from there we went up to the Giant's Causeway, which if you don't know what that is, it's a natural formation on a beach that goes out into the ocean that is hexagonal stones that are naturally occurring. It's really cool. We went to a lot of really nice restaurants, dressed like hobos. That was interesting. I want you to understand, like, Christian and I are fairly punk rock people. Christian far more so than I. Like, he is normally mohawk up, black painted boots with chain wrapped around him, battle vest on. And we walked into a 2-star Michelin restaurant and still got a table.
Nice.
Right? So just lots of fun experiences over there. But like, yeah, we were drinking every night. Like, you know, it was going out of style, and like somehow none of us ever got hung over that week. We got home and we're glad we had a week off after we got home.
I imagine it's alcohol, but it seems to me it's probably less processed.
Alcohol is a
Better water,
like,
or worse water.
What I'll say is like a lot of it over there, and their food across the board in general is much more fresh. They're not allowed to add some of the preservatives that we add to things. Now, as far as alcohol goes, it doesn't really need a preservative agent.
Is it still room temp over there, or is that a myth that I'm imagining?
It depends on where you go.
Okay.
A lot of the places in the more touristy areas are going to serve it cold.
Yeah.
But out in the rural areas, it was just a mixed bag of, where we were at.
50-50.
Yep.
Did anybody order an Irish car bomb?
No. None of us were brave enough to even toss that one out there.
The reason he brings that up is because I saw a meme the other day that absolutely killed me, and it was somebody just saying, like, how insane is it that someone in America can just walk up to a bartender and order an Irish car bomb? That's like ordering a World Trade Center.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah,
and
fair.
so a American retweeted it and said, take 2 Budweisers and then pour a shot of, I think it was some type of airline vodka or whatever.
Oh, the gin.
Aviator gin.
Aviator gin into both of the tall boy Budweisers and drink them 17 minutes apart. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, we just created a new drink from a joke. I was like, holy shit. Americans just like, hey, man, whatever.
Yeah, what I think
if we don't laugh about it, it will destroy us.
Right. Yeah.
Pour a little out for the victims,
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Hey,
For the jumpers.
We're all at that point where like we've either got to have dark humor or we all go a little insane.
I will say that I think American culture does dark humor way better than probably the rest of the world. Just because we're like, man, nothing's off limits. Nothing.
Like, it's very, very little, I would say, is like, you're gonna catch someone who's like, hey man, that's like, dial that back 10% there, Squirrely Dan. Like,
Right.
Yeah, 40 years ago, different story. But nowadays,
Which I think I told these guys offline, but I had a moment at work where they're like, we need to be really careful about backing our vehicles because near Wichita, a mail carrier like hit a child backing out of a driveway, and we're like, oh man, that's horrible, And then it's like everyone was like lighthearted and talking beforehand, and then it was just dead silent. And I was like, well, this isn't good. But I was like, kid probably deserved it,
Just to light the mood.
just to bring it up.
I was like, yeah. Like, obviously, I don't mean that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that goes without saying that I don't mean that. But it was just like
half the room's
what
like,
is- like what can I say that will like bring everyone back from the darkness?
A joke
Yeah.
is great when it's so funny that the HR department has to hear it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, could have gone one of two ways, but it was okay.
And that's why I stay on the bit that, my podcast persona, it's a character.
it's character.
Can't
Character.
cross that corporate
Yep.
line.
Yeah.
No, but you're the man. You're management, so you gotta keep it buttoned down.
For sure. But I am guilty of like grandpa level goofs and gaffes. My favorite is to walk up to my employees and be like, you got something on your shirt? And 95% of the time, because they're my employees, yep. Bam!
That's, man, you are gonna get along so good with Christian.
Oh,
Like,
dude, I love it.
he loves doing that to people.
Dude, I love it. I do it to strangers whenever I go to concert gigs.
Yes,
And-
he does.
uh,
He does.
Absolutely every time.
It's like 3 tall, cans of beer in.
And then it's on. It's on.
Yep.
And I'm picking targets. I'm scoping out the prey. And my favorite one to date, the best one that I've ever done, was there was an asshole in the pit at a Meshuggah concert that we went to go to, and like just being an asshole, throwing elbows, being a jerk. And the show had ended, and we were on our way out. We're all sweaty, we're exhausted. I'm intoxicated, and I caught this guy in the hallway, and he's because he's been, being shitty in the pit. And I just go, "Hey man, you go somewhere?" Sure. Hit him with it, and I was like, fucking dork, and I walked out. It felt so good. I was like, I have power over you now.
Yeah, he went home and cried that night.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not a dork. My mom said I wasn't a dork.
The second best one I ever had was, it was a group of buddies that were probably around the same age as me, and there was the leader of the boys that were running around, and I got him with it. And he leaned in. He's like, "What the fuck are you, a dad?" And I leaned in. I was like, "That's the scariest part. I'm not." Like, it was. Oh, it's so good. He's watched most of them, and he's always on standby because there's always that 1% chance that somebody is not going to think it's as fucking funny as me and swing at me. Like, I've had somebody swat at me like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Like,
I probably fire Christian at least twice a day. I want to say he keeps telling people, like, I didn't count, but he keeps telling people the record was 28 in one day, and the dude will never leave, right?
Yeah.
Like, I could fire him for real. I could drag his stuff out into the hallway in the mall, and he'd be like, "You know what? I probably should deep clean underneath the desk," and like come right back in. Like,
yeah, no,
you're kidding me.
I've got to meet him. Sounds like he and I would just be like. He'd be tattooing me. I'd be like, "Hey man, you got some?" And they'd do it to me. Like,
what would be great is later on you like, you see that line there? That's when I got Christian.
That's a piece of history.
You'll get him with the finger nod, and then he'll get you with the reach around shoulder tap later on.
No, I don't fall for that.
Really?
Fall for that. I have trained my body to look the opposite way. Absolutely every single time, because my employees try that shit and I'm like, "Nice try. You think I was born yesterday? But gotta do better than that,
I think we need Wet Willie.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
That's the worst.
If I got a wet willy while I was in the chair,
no,
I'd be devastated.
You'd be like, "Shit, I see both of your hands. What the fuck was that?"
Well, it'd be even better too, because the gloves. I'd be like, "How'd that nylon taste?"
Like, for me, like the bloodborne pathogen side, the microbial blood spray, I'm just like, no. What?
No, please God, not in the shop.
Flips table, walks out. I'm done here.
I'm done. I'm fucking done.
What you need to do to him one time is take your glove, tie it off, and then like, "All right, we're ready to tattoo."
Have it all swollen.
You gotta have fun with it, man.
Oh yeah.
Always got to have fun with it. Helps break the stress. I remember my boss talking to me about it, and I just told him, I was like, the reason that I do it is because it takes less than like 30 seconds. And I said, it lightens the mood by just that much. Mm-hmm. I said, it cuts that tension just that much, and it's worth it to me. So you got to remember, we're all human at the end of the day.
Yep.
So.
That's what they tell me. I'm skeptical.
Depends on which simulation you're in.
Yeah. The lizard people are out there.
But no, I in terms of tattooing, I love the off the wall, the combination ones, like you mentioned, the Gengar Naruto one.
I've got a very serious question.
I was kind of in the middle of something.
No, it's this time of the podcast. Important. It's this time of the podcast
we start walking over Quentin.
We have to interrupt Quentin.
They've been doing really good this time. I want you guys to know.
No. But I really need to know. I really need to know. Have you ever tattooed a cock and balls on somebody?
I have not.
Okay.
So that is like one of the things I've seen happen. And like other guys in shops that I've worked in would do that, and I'm just not that person.
Yeah.
I don't get me wrong. We kind of accidentally started a cult, and I've done that tattoo on about 60 people, and I love it. but it's one of those things where, like, when it comes to putting an indelible mark on someone, like, even if someone was like, yeah, I want to get this done, I think it'll be hilarious. Well, actually, it did happen. I had a friend of mine, and she told me she wanted me to put a big old veiny dick down her leg. And I was like,
oh my goodness.
And I was like, no. And she goes, but it'll be hilarious. I have an addiction. and I was like, and this young girl at the time, she was 21, 22. And I was like, no. And she was like, come on, Christian will think it's funny. I was like, okay, I'll call him. I call him. And like, I knew where he was going to go with this. You know, if I'm like, hey, old girl wants to ask you a question. He's like, okay. She's like, Christian, I want to get this dick down my leg. And he was like, are you fucking stupid? Like, are you kidding me? No. And she's like, I thought you would have totally been on board. He's like, it'll be funny if I do it. If you do it, you're getting harassed at the club.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, no, don't make poor life choices. Yeah.
It's a delicate balance. And, you know, I think it's good that you guys do a good job of being those guardians of, you know, like, hey, like, just think about it for a second, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there are plenty
it's-
of people out there that are like, if you fucking want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They'll
the
do
thing is,
whatever
like,
for the money.
Yeah.
one of the
Exactly.
one of the biggest changes we've seen in the industry in the last 10 years is, you know, previously, like I said, you know, like when we were growing up, you covered up your tattoos. You started filling in your chest, your upper arms, your torso, your legs, right?
That's what
Because
I
they
did.
could be covered. And now you have kids going for the shock and awe at the gate. They want to look cool without having to go through all of the rest of it.
Face tattoo.
And face tattoos, hand tattoos, neck tattoos, you know.
Yep.
And I don't have a problem with like forearms and up. You know, if you're 18, 19, 20 years old, you know,
right.
go for it. But we still live in the Bible Belt,
Oh, for
you
sure.
know, like
Mm-hmm.
Christian and I had a friend of ours get fired from Dillon's because he had face tattoos, and they changed management, and the guy walked in and said, you can't have that. It's against policy. Leave my store.
Yep.
You know? So I tell these young kids, like, no, like, give it till you're 25 to 28, you know?
Well, it's one of those things too. It's like, earn your stripes, man.
Well,
Like,
see,
do your time.
I don't even think of it like that, right? Like earning your stripes. It's really more of like the evolution of our own personal psychology, right? Like
For sure.
at 18 years old,
Have
we're
no idea what's going on.
right, and we're not the same person we are at 28 or 38. And I'm sure I'm gonna feel the same way when I hit 48. You know,
Right.
like there's so much change that happens that.
Shut up.
And so, you know, I try to help the younger people not make poor life choices. And when I do that, you know, I look at them, I'm like, look, I want you to understand, I'm not telling you I won't do it. I'm telling you to think about it and realize that if you choose not to do it, I'm taking money out of my own pocket to tell you this is not a good idea.
Right.
You should
Yeah.
you should seriously consider this.
Financially wise, you have absolutely no reason to tell them
No.
not to.
Right.
And so it's whenever the moral ground comes into question, be like, just pause, just think about it. You
Mhm.
know, if you're very adamant, and you know, okay, but it always prompts that question, right? So
Well, and I've gotten to the point on hand tattoo that I've got one in mind, but I won't do it on my right hand. You know, the hand I'm going to lead off with shaking. You know, I'll keep it clean. But
Well,
this
and-
one, you know, hey,
and
in
you
the
know,
pocket.
whenever I get completely covered, which is still very much on my to-do list, is, you know, I have accepted and I am very comfortable with the thought of doing the skin tone sleeves, only because I don't even want it to be in question.
Yeah.
You know, I've got my septum piercing. Anytime I go to work, it's whoop up in my nose, just because I don't even want it to be a question. I don't want it to be a discussion. So, and I'm comfortable enough to accept that, you know, because whenever I'm out there, all right, you know, whatever.
Well, that's the thing. You know, so many people nowadays, or I should say young people nowadays, like, well, you shouldn't judge. Yeah, people shouldn't, but they're going to.
They
Mhm.
absolutely do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And usually it's the people that have the power over you.
Yeah, There's
Yeah.
people that are in the positions of power
For sure.
that can tell you no. And you want to get upset when everybody told you, hey, this is not the right move. And you're
Yeah.
like, but I'm going to live my life.
Well, and you know,
Accept the consequences.
the important
Yeah.
part on my side is like there is zero pressure for me to do that. It is purely on my own, just like proactive. Like I'm just going to remove it from the conversation. I don't even want it to come up. You know,
Well, that is it's a common sense thing.
for sure.
You know.
for sure.
What's it like to have that, guys?
Yeah, it's rare, but somehow I managed to give both of them a little bit of common sense.
Yeah, I'd say it's about a 50-50 split. There's some things where he gets the common sense, and there's some things where I get the common sense. It's the fun part where we sometimes overlap. We just talked about it the other day that I think my brother and I make like a phenomenal team together, because we've got half of Dad's psyche.
Together, you make one functional human being.
Yeah, together, ape strong. You know.
Wonder Twin powers activate.
Exactly. So, yeah. See, yeah. But side note, I do really want to thank you guys for making the drive down here. I know that is a miserable drive. I made it for several years. I used to live in Pittsburgh, and then we used to practice in Independence, and that was a slog every week to come down and practice. So thank you guys genuinely for making time out of your guys' busy schedule.
And thank you for your support of End of Summer Bash.
No, of course.
Yeah, and speaking of, if you head back out on Liberty,
Mm-hmm.
if you head out that way, go under the underpass, go past Pizza Hut, under the underpass, you'll see the big show banners.
Oh,
and then
nice.
look to your right, and you can see the stage. You'll see where it's going to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that'll circle you back around to 169, and you can
Okay.
head out that way.
Yeah, and no, this has been a lot of fun.
No.
Like, I really enjoy it, and I always try to support like people that I know, and especially in the things that they're doing. I had a lot of people that had to do the same thing for me to help me get to where I am, and so it's something that like I wish I could have done more, and
Well, we very much appreciate you, and I'm sure that a lot of people that are come to End of Summer Bash be in the market for tattoos. So I encourage everyone listening to check out Alchemy Ink Pittsburgh on Facebook, on Instagram. You're going to be blown away by the artwork there. I can tell you that because I certainly was. And you can tell by this podcast that you're in good hands. Someone that's not going to lead you astray. It's going to, if you have a, what do they call it? Intrusive thoughts. He's going to talk you down.
Yeah.
maybe.
Depends on what
Like
it is.
I've got a couple of my own. All right, I don't know about this. Like,
I think it's a rite of passage.
Today's the day you're getting that dick.
maybe not that, but like I will say, like I love doing very simple, stupid tattoos. Like I find them very fun. Like I have a happy little stick figure Super Saiyan
Hell
on my
yeah.
arm, like little things like that. Like have you guys ever heard of Delicious and Dungeon?
Yes, I've watched.
You've watched? Okay.
Yeah.
We did the mushroom on Cat's ankle.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
And
Right on.
like just little things like that I love doing. I don't know if you guys scrolled back far enough to see my little gnome that I did a couple years ago. But like it's super fun, and like
Well, and at the end of the day, it's all about having fun, right?
right.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
I've never met one person that's going to get a tattoo and it's just like, I'm doing it because I have to, You do it because you have fun.
My mom's making
My
me, man.
mom's making me.
Gah.
Yeah. It's a chores list on the forearm.
Honestly, I'm 100% on board with the to-do list.
Yeah.
So
I've seen it. I've seen
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
For you, I think you'd probably get like the Adam Savage, like the
ruler.
The ruler.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You do. You use
That
that
was-
shit all the time.
If we could ever get your Paga to get one, he could get one on his leg so he could measure fish
Exactly.
on it.
I'd
Yeah.
probably do one on my thigh and then lie on the numbers.
Can every inch be 2?
Hear me out, okay? This is a terrible joke I love telling, all right? It is harmless, but it could be misconstrued. We'll open that with. All right.
Take it off the edge. Do
All
it.
right. So, women have been reading rulers wrong forever. Okay.
Agree.
Okay. So what happens is they're looking at the side that says IN. That stands for incorrect. They forgot to flip it over to the CM, and that is correct measurement. And that's where the discombobulation between men and women's measurements comes from.
That's
All
great.
right. I'm glad we cleared that up.
So
On that note, I just want to once again thank you for your time, for your support, and encourage everyone to go check out your artwork and visit the shop at Meadowbrook Mall in Pittsburgh, Kansas.
and then give a shout out to your socials so they know where to find you.
Yeah, both of them are just on the Alchemy Ink Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Just make sure you're spelling Pittsburgh correctly and not like
No H.
Yep. Drop the H.
Drop the H. No.
Thank you guys again for
Thank
tuning in. It's been a lot of fun. So,
Yeah.
and if
Yeah.
you guys want to take the Galaga machine for a spin, you're welcome.
Oh, yeah.
And we still have the PBR whiskey to try.
Yes.
Yep, we do that.
So
And then if we ever come back, I'll definitely bring a bottle from home. Like I've
hell yeah.
Yeah, because
I don't
I'm,
know.
I'm
Nice.
nursing that one.
So-
It's like,
I say, did I ever tell you about Matthew Lillard's whiskey he started?
no.
It's
Oh.
called Quest End Whiskey. It's a Dungeons and Dragons based whiskey company.
Oh shit.
It is expensive. It's about $150 a bottle, but they're all cask strength, and they're fucking awesome.
Wow.
There's more.
Yeah, like they really are. Like they're
Hell
phenomenal. I'll make sure to snag one of my open bottles and.
Got
Nice.
you. I'm so buff.
You guys are welcome back.
Yeah.
anytime.
We'll have to do this again and get lit up.
No, we'll get Christian over here, man. He's the life of the party. I'm
yeah.
a lot more of the business matter of fact. All right, this is what it is.
I definitely plan to visit the shop prior to that.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it'd be a lot of fun.
Yep, and I need to get you that logo design.
All right. Well,
Make
thanks
it
again
happen.
for everyone listening. Thank you for your time and attention, and we'll catch you later.